Hey everybody, welcome to Realtor Rapid Fire, our 5-minute interview series where we interview top real estate agents in and around Delaware County, Chester County, Philadelphia. And today we are joined by the one and only Susan Mattern with VRA. Susan, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks. Thank you for
We
having
have
me.
some we have some fun questions for everyone today, and I think they're going to get a lot out of them. And as I was crafting these questions, I definitely felt like there's some value behind these answers. Now I don't know your answers, but I'm certain there's going to be value. And the very first question, as a home buyers usually come to you, right? And they're like, "Oh, I know exactly what I want," and they give you
Right.
this list of items, right? But it often changes, right? Like, how do you help home buyers realize what they actually need to prioritize?
I mean, initially when I'm talking to them, I'm getting an idea, but I tell them to take that list and just put it in the garbage. You basically got to go look at your price point and you got to go look at houses. You got to pick the neighborhood and you got to literally scout out either that area or that neighborhood that you're looking in and just keep at it. If you're not sure a particular neighborhood, you're looking at, price points. People might want large closets or a walk-in closet. This just has happened to me in December. They were like, "No, we have to have like a custom closet." They didn't buy a 800 plus $1,000 house with a custom closet, and I even do that for a living. Little plug for myself, SGM Designs. I do closets on the side. They didn't even do that. I gave them a free design as part of like their like home package, which is worth like anywhere $250 to $300 for me to come
Love
in
that.
and do it. Yeah, I gave it to him for free and said, just let me know when you want it done. I have a contractor to come out and do it for, minimal cost. Nope, they didn't go
Yeah.
for it. So the closet really wasn't what they wanted. I think they wanted location. They wanted the size of the house. They wanted, potential to like put in a finished basement and stuff like that. I think they just were looking for something that fit their needs. So again, you could put that you want the custom closet. You can put that you want, you know, 5 acres when you end up buying a house with 1 acre and no custom closets.
So if you're an agent and you're trying to prioritize, like you get the list, right? From a category standpoint, how would you shuffle that list? What would you if someone says, okay, these are my priorities, but you're like, all right, this one I'm going to put to the top because whether they know it or not, this is one they definitely want to focus on. What's the number one and the number two item that you usually help them to prioritize?
Probably size and
Okay.
yeah, size and location. Those are the
Okay.
two. You can change everything else, but you can't change that stuff. So
Very
when
good point.
they buy in a particular that they really want to be, or they want to be, close to like a proximity of where they work or the kids go to school, then that's where they're going to, if they move 10, 15 minutes the other direction or 20 minutes another direction, that could be detrimental. Or
Hmm.
if they're moving to a specific area because of, oh, it's cheaper over this way than it is this way, are you really saving when you're not getting your ideal location?
Yeah, very good. Okay, so now let's flip over to sellers. Okay, so if you're a real
Mhm.
estate agent out there and you have a seller, you're starting to develop and work relationships with sellers. Sellers often have fears, right?
Mhm.
What's the number one fear sellers have, and then how do you, as an agent, help them kind of work through those fears? Do you have any examples or stories of that
Sure.
situation?
Sorry. Um, there's all kinds of different fears. I think the number one thing would be probably if I sell and I don't have a house to buy.
Okay,
Um,
fear of being homeless, right?
yeah, but I said, listen, you have leverage. You own this house still. Just because they put an offer in doesn't mean they don't own this house until you sign the deed package and they sign their docs, loan docs and
Hmm.
everything else, and it's then officially. But until that time, you make the rules. So you have leverage as the seller. And I think that's where people kind of disengage and forget
Yeah.
about that they're the ultimate decision maker and they can navigate, or the agents, both buyer and seller agents can navigate that for both buyers and sellers.
It's a
Rent
great
back.
point. Yeah, why let me ask you this. Why don't agents or maybe they do, but if you're a seller, right now, sellers have all the leverage. Why not more contracts where it's like, hey, we'll accept your offer, but if you want to buy this place, you're gonna have to give me the time I need to find a place. Like, are you seeing that
You see it.
more?
I mean, you saw it a little bit more a couple years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
you still see it. And there's tons of programs out there too that they can, buy the house first and then, bridge loans and stuff like that.
Sure.
So they just need to be educated when you sit down with them at the listing consult and tell them
Mm-hmm.
that you have to sell this house. Understood. We can make this as seamless as possible, and that is what you're hiring me to do. You're not hiring me to, yeah, you're hiring me to market and all that stuff, but you're hiring me to sit there, and it's a psychological thing to make this as seamless as possible. I used to be a flight attendant. Okay. You get people who used to go on the planes and they were like white knuckles. Listen, we got it. This is why you're on the plane. This is why they have flight attendants, because if this plane goes down, I'm getting you out. I'm out. You're out before I am. So, you got to let people just sit back, relax. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You ask them that. What is the worst thing that's going to happen? You accept a contract, you can't find a house in 60 days, and then we asked, hey, can we rent back
Fix that.
another 30? You know,
Yeah.
you're paying the seller or the new buyer, the new homeowner to live there. It is what it is. I mean, there's all different things that you can do. You can, if you don't find something, you can always rent someplace for a year, an apartment or another a condo or townhouse. I know that's probably not what people want to do or hear, but people just think of the worst, and when they should be
Sure.
thinking like, this is why I'm hiring Susan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get through this seamlessly, and we're going to make it happen.
I love that answer. All right, here's our fun question. They say April showers bring May flowers.
Right.
If you could plant one magic seed, like you have a magic seed, it could grow anything you want. What seed would you plant? What would you grow?
So everybody's trying to get into the luxury listings right now. And
Okay.
I was going to say luxury listing like literally a second ago, but I kind of just changed because
Okay.
I think I just want to help people downsize. I think I want to find those older people, estates and stuff like that, because I think everybody wants to be luxury listing. Everybody's watching those shows, and
Oh
they're
yeah.
not for real. They're not for real.
No.
I mean, come on. Being a flight attendant wasn't for real either. So everything that I came in was like,
Hey,
oh,
being
this
a
is
loan
gonna be
officer isn't all
great.
that glamorous as it
This
might
is
look
gonna be
either.
so glamorous, and it wasn't glamorous at all. It's everything that you see on these like videos of people acting out. This happened in the 90s when I was, but the problem was back in the, well, not a problem, but the actually saving grace that we didn't have was phones. We had
Yeah.
beepers. um,
Yes.
so you couldn't record people. But yeah, so yeah, I am trying to tap into the luxury market a little bit more, but I think I just saw something, this morning when I was going through my social media about helping people or helping the baby boomer age, because that is the largest generation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge, everybody their fathers came back from war, and there was just a big baby boom.
And they all have equity,
They all have
right?
equity in their house.
Yep.
So one of the things I've been doing is anytime that I get any sort of lead, even if it's a dud, they don't return my phone call. They automatically get on HomeBot. If they open it up or not, they're
Hmm.
at least getting a value or a CMA of their house. But what I'm doing is I would love to target that market and get more of those downsizing. And I hate to say downsizing because I mean, that could be like, I mean, I'm 50, I'll be 54 this year. So um, I'm technically in the next year going to be an empty nester.
You're gonna be
So
eligible for 55 and older.
yeah, yeah. But I can, and I won't go to a 55 and older community. Maybe I would. I don't know. But those older people who might have to get like their kids are our age. I mean, you don't know what to do with these parents
Yeah.
because they were a little bit more advanced than even our grandparents were, right?
Hmm.
So they're getting older and they're able to sustain and live in their houses longer.
Yeah.
That's hence that's why we have a home shortage.
Yeah.
But then there's programs out there where, they have to sell their house if they have to go into assisted living. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of have, I think because I am in that age group and I have an 80-year-old mother and an 80-year-old aunt who are actually living in the same house together as we speak. Um, that in the next couple years, that might be something that my mom and my aunt have to go do, you know,
So your magic seed would be a whole grove of
50
people downsizing.
downsizing. Yeah, a
I
grove. I
love it.
like the grove. I like the grove.
Grove, right. Well,
Yeah,
Susan, thank you very much for hanging out today. They got two for the price of one. This is a 10-minute interview instead of a
I
5-minute
know,
interview.
right? All right.
Time flies when you're
I
having
start
fun.
charging after the fifth minute. So,
We better go.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.